Hey there, this is Megan Andrew with you today, and today I am working with the brand new Gina K Mega Wreath Builder Templates. Now this fits papers that are 7.5, 6, and 4 3/4. Now when I saw these in person at the new Creativation show in 2019, that shows you all of the new products in the scrapbooking industry, I thought this would be the perfect product for scrapbookers because we all know that wreaths and wreaths that have a lot of embellishment and stamped images are pretty hot right now in paper crafting, and this is a product that allows you to create the perfect wreath. So I've cut a piece of white cardstock to 7.5 inches so it fits the square on the template. I've also pulled out some papers from the American Crafts Chamel collection, which is Head in the Clouds. And the reason why I am using this collection is because I am scrapbooking a picture of my daughter at Disney World from Christmas. And it's a pretty awesome picture. She's actually on my dad's shoulders in this picture, and she has both of her arms up looking at Cinderella's castle. So it's a pretty special picture, and I'm using some special product to document it today. So I've already cut my pattern papers. Now I've just grabbed the All-Star stamp, and this is also from Gina K Designs. I love this stamp so much, and I'm just going to show you how I'm going to use it to create the perfect wreath for my photo. So you can see that I placed my photo in the center there. I just wanted to get a good idea of where my picture is going to lie in the center of this piece of paper so that I could get those stars as close to that as possible. I'm going to start with the swirly star. It's a star that has a lot of swirls in it, and you can see here that I am using the Big Misti. I think this is called the Memory Misti, and actually right now Gina K has a pretty amazing promotion on at her website, which you can find the link to in my video notes, that you can get the Memory Misti and the Mega Wreath Builder templates for $99. And you guys, I paid $99 for my Misti alone. So that's a really good deal. So be sure to check that out at the link in my video notes. Now you can see here that I am turning my piece of cardstock according to the template, and I've decided to make my life a little bit harder here to alternate colors between pink and teal. So I'm using a light pink and a dark teal. Now I find that if I keep the magnet in the center, that helps me to hold that paper down because sometimes new stamps can be a bit sticky. I always use a gum eraser to get some of that residue off of my stamps, that stickiness, but you know, new stamps can be a little bit sticky and they tend to pull up your cardstock. So look how perfect that stamped that first circle of stars. So look at that. So I just want those stars to be touching my photo. Those are going to be the closest ones. Next up, I'm going to do this polka dot, and I'm going to do that in a pretty blue color. So I'm going to use my gum eraser here because all of these star stamps are brand new. Now, if you have the smaller inks, which Gina K also has an amazing set of tiny little square inks on her website, those are so much easier to use when you're inking up these stamps on the top of your Misti. They're not as awkward to hold. Most of my inks are large, so they are a bit awkward to hold, and it's just a bit precarious because you definitely don't want to drop your ink pad onto your beautiful wreath that you just made. So I would highly suggest checking out the smaller cubes that Gina K has on her website. Now you can see here, this is the third time I've stamped the star just because this is an old ink and it needs a bit of extra help. And that's one great thing about this Misti is that because everything stays in place, you can stamp over and over again without your paper moving. The magnets also help with that too. So I'm just alternating here between the light blue and a navy blue star. Again, it's making my work a little bit harder because I have to clean the stamp between each time, but it makes the wreath so much more interesting. I'm finding that once you really get into the hang of this wreath builder, you kind of set up a cadence. You know, clean the stamp, then ink the stamp, then close the lid, then you turn, clean the stamp, you know. So it's definitely once you do a few different elements, you're going to really get the hang of it. So next up, I'm going to do the solid star. And I'm going to do that in yellow because I don't want that to overpower the rest of my wreath here. So I have this kind of banana yellow color, and it really matches the yellow in the Head in the Clouds collection. Now this stamp, this ink is probably, I would say, a good 18 years old. So we're going to give it a little grace here and we're going to ink it up twice for every star. Yes, it takes a bit longer. Look at that perfect match. It takes a bit longer, but it's going to, that yellow is going to stand out so much more. If you guys have any suggestions for some great yellows, I'd love to hear what colors you're loving. I have a few favorite ones from close to my heart and Stampin' Up. This is a really old Stampin' Up color. I think it's called Barely Banana. I'm not sure even if the color still exists in the catalog, but it's one of my favorites, so I just keep it around. Obviously, I need a re-inker for that one. So I'm just doing every rotation here to go all the way around the wreath. And I'm just going to show you this close up because look how fun this is. It's already taking form and looking pretty awesome. And the process is definitely so much faster if you don't have to re-ink. But again, I do really like the look of mixing up your colors around that wreath. So the solid is done. Next up, I'm going to use the outline. And here's the great thing is that you can line this up just to where you want it. I want to be sure that I'm kind of overlapping some of the stars a bit to really get that full wreath look in here. And because it is just an outline, I'm going to use kind of the boldest color, which is Strawberry Slush from Stampin' Up. So it's a dark pink. It's pretty dark, but it's just an outline. And I'm going to show you something fun that I'm going to do with that outline next. So I'm just going to stamp this all the way around according to the template. Okay, so I just put my photo down again just to see if I'm loving this wreath, making sure that I have all of the colors here from my pattern paper because that's really my color inspiration for my wreath. And I highly recommend doing that, pulling colors from pattern paper. So I want to add a bit more in here. I want it to be even fuller than before. I have these solid little stars and I'm using navy blue because they're really tiny. It can handle that really dark color. This is so fun and just really relaxing. Just the routine, the rhythm of doing this, creating these wreaths is really fantastic. You don't have to think about it much. You just have to choose your stamp and your color and then go around 8 times, which I really, really love. So there's my small star. Putting my photo down again. Wow, I love the way that is looking. Just seeing here what other colors and stamps I have yet to add. I feel like we need a pop of color. So what I'm doing here is grabbing the solid star and I'm putting that over top of the dark pink outline. And I want that to be offset because offsetting your outline and your solids is something that I do a lot. If you guys have seen me use like the LE Studio Large Jane alphabet stamp, I just love using that offset solid outline with the solid inside, just like by not even an eighth of an inch, just kind of offsetting it. Look how cool it looks there. So this is a great way to do that and have it look the same all the way around. How super fun is that? And I can already tell that this wreath definitely needed that bright pop of pink. That is the same kind of pink color that I have on my layout frame, so it's going to look spectacular when everything comes together. So I watched quite a few Gina K videos, and if you guys haven't checked out her videos, they really are so beautifully done and just easy to follow. And Gina always says to put your cardstock back in the square direction to choose your next stamp, because if you do it in the diagonal, you could place your stamp too far off and it would kind of mess up the wreath when you're in the square direction. Now on this one I'm using the small stars, and you can see here that I'm doing only the squares. So I'm only going to have 4 sets of these stars around my wreath instead of the 8. And I highly recommend doing that just to change things up a bit and trying that out. You can also do it on the diagonal instead of the square, but it just, you know, changes up the look a bit. And then I have this little solid. The great thing about clear stamps is that you can really place them and get an idea of what it's going to look like before you commit, which I love. I'm not great at committing. Doing these in navy here. And again, doing them on the square. So I'm only doing 4 rotations on these instead of 8. It's starting to really look full and beautiful, and I'm so loving it. And I really love the way that it's framing my photo now. It's making me immensely happy. I don't know about you guys, but I am just loving it. Okay, for my next stamp, I'm going back to the solid star, but this time I'm going to do something really special and use some rose gold embossing powder with this solid star. And I want it to overlap my yellow star, so I am using some Versamark, and I get really nervous about doing too many of these before laying down my powder, so I'm just doing 3 turns and then I'm adding my powder. What I'm using here is Ranger Rose Gold embossing powder, and then I'm going to go around 3 more times and then lay down my powder again. I'm sure that it would stay wet enough for more, but I don't want to risk it. My Versamark also needs to be refilled, as most of my inks do, because they get a lot of use, you know? Okay, so I have already heat embossed my rose gold stars, and now I'm just going to stamp a few extra stars here so that I can fussy cut them out and pop them up on my layout, because dimension is really important when you're creating a large layout like this, and so it's always a good idea to add a few extra things that you can pop up with some dimensional adhesive, and it also helps to make that wreath look really special. So I'm just going to do a few yellows, a pink, and maybe a blue one or two, just so that I can cut those out. So I used quite a bit of navy in my wreath, and I thought that my photo could use a nice navy frame, so I grabbed one of the Head in the Clouds pattern papers, which you'll find the names of in my video notes, so be sure to check there if you want to get the names and links to those papers. And I just added a 1/4 inch frame to my photo. And I'm placing that photo now right in the center of my beautiful star wreath that I just love so much. And right now I'm just putting everything together, all of these pattern papers framed here. I just love this mix of pattern and color. I want that phrase paper, which is so wonderful. It has lots of different sayings like laughter is timeless, once upon a time, I am a princess in my mind, which I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the idea of my daughter thinking of herself as a princess, but I don't know how you guys feel about that. So I am just layering all these guys up. I'm cutting up some new dimensional adhesive because, gosh, you guys, I've run out of dimensional adhesive all the time. SOS, send dimensional adhesive. So I just had to run in my closet and grab some more. I also use every tiny little bit of dimensional adhesive that I have on hand. These are the stars that I fussy cut out that I want to pop up on my layout. Just add a bit of extra oomph. This layout is all about dimension. There's lots of layers. Look here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I like 7 layers right now. Isn't that crazy? But it's not too much that you can't fit into a sleeve, which is what I love. So you can definitely get a really interesting layout without having it too thick. Okay, so I'm popping these stars up over here, which I really like because it's kind of creating a nice diagonal line here. Sort of make sure I run down to the bottom right corner of the layout. So this star stamp has a saying that says wish upon a star, and if you give me a phrase that says wish upon a star, let me tell you, I'm going to make a Disney layout. So what I'm going to do here is stamp the phrase wish upon a star, and I'm going to fussy cut that out to create my title. Now I think upon a really needs something underneath it. I'm going to stamp it here just to see how big it is, but I feel like it needs to go on a label or something just so those words don't get lost, because wish and star are these beautiful handwritten fonts. So I'm grabbing a label here, just a teal label that I had in my stash from LA Studio, and I stamped that on the label. Now for the word star, I'm going to use that rose gold embossing powder again, just so I get a bit more metallic on my layout. And I'm going to heat set that off the camera because my gun is away from my desk. So there's my title. I feel like it's getting a bit lost over there in that pattern paper. So my solution is to add a bright pop of color underneath of it, and I'm going through my journaling tags to see what I have, because if I can add my title there and my journaling, then that's a win-win for me. So I like that yellow, but it's a bit bright. It's a bit overwhelming. So I'm just seeing what else I have. I'm also going to check out the Head in the Clouds collection, because if you want to match a color, then you know the best thing is to stick with the same collection. And I know that there has to be something in there that's that pretty yellow color. And here it is. It's a piece of ledger paper, which I'm going to cut to 3 by 4 to make my own journaling tag. How perfect is that? So I'm going to pull up the star. Just going to figure out how this can go on here. And I always print my journaling, so I'm just going to kind of put it together to show you how I'm going to work it. And then I will print my journaling off of the camera. I really like a stacked kind of title, and that makes me so happy. Just perfect. So my wreath is gorgeous, and it brings all of the focus and attention to my photo. But I also want to add some embellishments from the Head in the Clouds collection so I can further create that diagonal line of embellishment. This dream come true flag is so pretty, and I think that that's a great big pop of color that can start off that awesome diagonal shape. And then this couldn't be more perfect. The fact that I have this big castle chipboard that I can place down at the bottom, and that really grounds the layout and adds some weight to the bottom, because right now the weight is all around that star wreath. So I'm just going through the die cut shapes to see what else I might have here to add and kind of like layer up my embellishments a bit. Now let's talk about hoarding for a second, because my friend Shamel makes the most amazing things with American crafts, and these Glitter Girl stars are almost gone, so send help soon. I need some more Glitter Girl enamel stars. I love them, and it couldn't be more perfect to use with this layout. To finish up this page, I just added a few cardstock stickers and a journaling tag to kind of layer those embellishments. But the star of the show literally is the Mega Wreath that I created with Gina K's Mega Wreath Builder. It's perfect for layouts, you guys. This largest size, the 7.5 inch, is great for creating a beautiful wreath to go on the center of your layouts. And I just accented that with a few embellishments and some pattern paper. So it's definitely a winning layout. I highly recommend grabbing this template to create something truly spectacular with your own stamps or with the beautiful stamps that Gina K has in her shop. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out Gina K's Mega Wreath Builder. And like I said, she has an amazing deal going on right now where you can get it with the Memory Misti for $99. Check that out through the link in my video notes. Have a great day and happy creating.